like every time I look up these sort of major events, it always seems like the Palestinians were the ones who kind of started it first. So the idea that well, it's kind of understandable how Palestinians today are so racist against Jews and are like literally pro Holocaust is because the same reason why Americans hated Arabs so much after 9/11. Like again, it just seems like every situation Palestinians were the ones to like start it first.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on what you mean by start it first, because from their perspective, Britain started it,
Yeah,
or Jewish people started it by settling as colonizers. So that was the start. And then from there, it's just been a continual conflict back and forth,
but
basically.
but again, they were the ones to start the violence first. That's what I mean.
Sure. But I mean, they would consider settling a state or settling land to be a form of political violence, and then declaring an independent state would be another form of political violence. But
But again, Jews were the ones who wanted to negotiate, and then they said, no, fuck you. And then they're the ones who attacked first, and then they acted like crybabies and said, oh, Jews are evil, when they were the ones who attacked first, and then they got
yeah, I understand.
butthurt
But
that they
it's like,
lost.
sure, but it's like me going into your house and taking over your garage and then saying, like, let's negotiate. Like, I just want to own your garage. And then you can have the rest of your house. And then you coming in and attacking me because you're like, fuck you, get the fuck out of my garage. And then I fight back. And now let's say I capture like your garage and your basement. And I'm like, okay, well, let's make a deal about like the garage and the basement. And you're like, well, no, fuck you. You're in my house still. And then we fight again. And now I take over your living room. Like, it seems like I'm only up to 1950, but it kind of seems like the history of this region is the Jewish people get there, they get a foothold there, and then negotiations go back and forth. The Palestinians say no. The Israelis say, okay, fine, let's fight. They take more territory. Then Israel is like, do you want to chill now? And they're like, I didn't hear no fucking bell. And then they fight more.
Yeah.
Then they lose more. And that just seems to be the history of the region over and over again. And now they're basically saying, like, okay, listen, let's go all the way back to 48 and let's go back to the original UN resolution. I want those borders. I fucked up. I'm sorry. Like, just go back to living in my garage. It's kind of what it seems like it's going on.
No,
But
no, 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 no. I would say your average Palestinian, the river to the sea bullshit rhetoric, that's what they want. They don't want to go back to
I
the
don't know if
original
that's the
borders.
average Palestinian. It's hard to tell right now. I think that's just foreign. Also, I would be careful. If you've got like a Palestinian refugee, they probably don't know fuck all about any of this. I wouldn't trust anybody that calls themselves a Palestinian refugee because these guys might be like third generation Brits or Americans, unless they've actually done reading or research here. Like, I wouldn't trust a single fucking thing they have to say. And same thing with like the young people protesting at colleges and shit. These people don't know fucking anything about the region
Well,
or the
yeah.
conflict. Just because you've got like some bloodline or some ethnic tie to the land doesn't mean you know dick all about it. I know plenty of real life people with Palestinian descent that couldn't find Palestine on a fucking map. Okay,
Yeah.
unironically. So yeah, but but I'm just saying. So like, I wouldn't put a bunch of stock into like the college kids that are protesting right now. That like every Palestinian
Well, I'm
wants
not
to wipe
talking about
Israel off the
that.
map.
I'm not
Sure.
talking about the college kids. I'm like, again, I've tried to find as much evidence as I could. I've looked at like
Mm-hmm.
Pew Research data. I've looked at like news reports, Al Jazeera, like all these pro-Palestinian kind of sources. It looks like to me that your average Palestinian believes in that from the river to the sea bull crap, and it seems to be more prevalent in the younger generations, and that may have been because of the of Hamas, like them radicalizing children.
Wait. So where I'm curious. Where can I find this? So if I was to Google like polling data,
Yeah,
Palestine, existence of Israel, or something like, what would I?
yeah. I would just look at some of the Pew Research stats. The earliest, or well, sorry, the latest I could find was from around 08, 09. That wasn't about whether or not it wasn't about the two-state solution. It was about Hamas support. Um, but yeah,
Well,
I'd look at the Israel polling data. I'd look at Palestinian sort of news sources like Al Jazeera, and I've
Elman, do
seen it.
Palestinians support Hamas? Polls paint a murky picture. Well, I'm curious if you can link me or show me like where are polls with.
Let me see if I can quickly find it. So it's fairly easy to actually find. Um, it's easy to find data across surrounding regions, so like Jordan, Egypt, areas like that. Not quite as easy. Where should I post this, by the way?
Just damn it to me.
Okay, sure. Um, Message. There you
Oh,
go.
thank you, Eric.
So
Hold on.
that was the last. That was the latest Pew Research poll I could find on support of Hamas. If you look at surrounding regions, it is very high. Um, since Hamas controls so much of the media there, I would assume they do enjoy a lot of support within Gaza. And again, if you look at a lot of the news reports, if you look at like street interviews and stuff, I'm getting the feeling that the younger generation has been more radicalized than the older generation. So
Sure,
when
that's probably always going to be true, kind of for young people. I'm looking at a foreign affairs article. This is from 2023. The Arab Barometer Wave 8 in Gaza. I guess these are some kind of Arab pollsters for how much do you trust? How much trust do you have in the Hamas-led government? I'm seeing about 23% say not a lot, and like 45% say none at all. So it seems like
well,
the opinions of Hamas are not that good. Yeah.
that doesn't exactly answer the question of whether or not they support their policies. It's specifically about whether or not they actually trust the government, like whether or not they can be trusted to enact said policies, whether or not the way in which they go about supporting said policies is good. Wait, what was the source?
Here, it's a foreign affairs article. It's
Okay.
linking data from the Arab Barometer Wave 8. I just linked that.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll
Because this peer research is 14 years old,
yeah,
and this region changes pretty quickly.
yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I'll look at that. Thanks for sending me it.
okay.
Okay. Well, take care.
Be careful.
I'll
Bye.
look into that more.